Welcome back, Aries. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. Today we're going to do your mid-September 2021 Love Tarot and Astrology reading. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that I've taken a short hiatus from doing tarot readings. And the reason for that is Saturn in Aquarius has been squaring my moon in Taurus pretty much all of 2021. I am a Cancer rising, so the moon is my ascendant ruler. And anytime a planet is aspecting my moon, it tends to have a dramatic impact on me. And Saturn is this planet of restriction, delay, old age, decay, oppressive, depressive moods. The moon is about your emotions. So I had to take some time for myself and just kind of recollect myself and separate from pretty much everything. But I'm back now. So I'm happy for those of you that stuck around, and so let's get into it. So this week, I'm doing this video on September 20th. This week of September 20th has a lot going on in the sky. So today, September 20th, there is a full moon in Pisces. And for you, Aries, Pisces is your 12th house. It is 12 signs past Aries. The 12th house is tricky, and it's a lot about confinement, isolation. A lot of times it is known as a hidden house. So hidden things come up at this time. The 12th house is also a house of self-undoing and self-sabotage to the ancient astrologers. So you really have to be careful of shooting yourself in the foot and things that make you want to escape reality. So drugs, alcohol, sex, pills, anything to that effect can really be highlighted at this time. And a full moon is always a culmination of events. It is the end of a lunar cycle. The sun is sitting over in Virgo at the very last degrees at 28 degrees, and the moon right now is at about 27, 28 degrees. So we are at the very last degrees of the entire zodiac. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. 28 to 29 degrees, that's about it. This is a weird area of the chart. It's a little bit unknown. I live here in Minneapolis, and the weather was really ominous today. I think the whole energy of today was a little bit bizarre. And it just really goes with this Pisces energy, 28, 29 degrees. What's interesting is that Venus is exalted at the 27th degree. That's kind of like her, maiden temple, so to speak. But past that, this is really constricted by Saturn. If you follow the specific degrees of the zodiac, this is kind of a part of Saturn, a part of the chart that Saturn rules. It's a decan that Saturn rules. So Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter right now is retrograde in Aquarius, and Aquarius is a sign ruled by Saturn. So this can be a very restricting full moon overall. It can feel restricting, it can feel oppressive or depressive. And on top of that, Saturn is about making adult decisions. It's about discipline, perseverance, going the distance, making sure things last the test of time. So if you've been feeling this heavy energy, knowing that you have to start making some adult decisions during this full moon, which is tonight, tomorrow, basically, just know that you're not alone, and this is all part of the grand plan. So we haven't had a full moon in this particular area of the zodiac in years. So it's going to be weird. And you just have to kind of go with it. But you really have to watch out for self-sabotage here and self-undoing, because this is where it happens. And just to give you a personal example, Aries, Venus went retrograde last summer in Gemini, and that was my 12th house. I'm a Cancer rising. And during that time, I had met someone, thought potentially this could be the one for me, kind of was like madly in love, head over heels. Turns out he was involved with someone else and attached to someone else and lied to me about it. And again, this is kind of like a hidden house. In Vedic astrology, the Indian practice, the 12th house is a house of intimacy. So this has to do with, intimate matters, so to speak. But again, sometimes this is also isolation and confinement. It can feel very isolating, confining. You got to watch out for that self-sabotage. So that's all part of this lunar cycle. And of course, things come to light when there's a full moon. The sun sitting over in Virgo is your 6th house of health, routine, work, The ancient astrologers thought that the sixth house was a house of slavery, bondage, burdens, something that really is a heavy weight on you. So it could be that you were releasing something that is a heavy weight on you, but it's also something that's potentially confining, constricting, isolating. So it could be you coming out of your shell, you releasing something at this time that needs to go. So keep that in mind with this full moon. It's a weird one. I'm feeling some really bizarre energy today, and I don't really have it figured out. And I think I'm pretty in tune. So like I said, those last degrees of Pisces are just weird. So go with it, but realize Saturn has this undertone to this full moon. So it's making adult decisions about something. Now, the other thing I want to mention about this week is September 23rd. The love planet Venus right now is in Scorpio, and that's a sign ruled by Mars right now, and Mars is over in Libra. So right now, the two are called in mutual reception to one another. The cosmic lovers, Venus and Mars, are in mutual reception. So Venus sitting in the home temple of Mars in Scorpio, and then Mars sitting in the home temple of Venus. So they're both debilitated or in their detriment. They don't do well in these particular signs. And on top of it, the love planet Venus is going to be making an opposition over to liberating, releasing Uranus on the 23rd. So why is this important? Venus in Scorpio is tricky. She doesn't behave like she typically does, where she graces us with money, beauty, popularity, nice aesthetics, sensuality, good food, the nice touch, the soft kiss. Those are typical. The negotiator and the compromiser too. She brings all of these themes, but in Scorpio, she behaves much differently because it's a house ruled by Mars. Mars is pioneering, courageous, sometimes aggressive. It's known for cutting and severing. And Scorpio is this deep, intense house. It's things bubbling up from the underworld. The ancient astrologers said this is ruled by Mars, but the modern astrologers also say that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So there's this element of death and rebirth and transformation and healing involved in all of this. So Scorpio can be kind of difficult for Venus. So we can see some of the shadow qualities come up for Venus at this time, and that involves lust, vanity, possessiveness, obsession, fear. It's a lot of fear-based reactions and motives during this time. So again, and this goes to self-sabotage, letting fear take over, and having to confront some of the darkness. And the darkness and the shadow qualities are in all of us, and we have to know what those trigger points are. And that's what Venus is going to teach us during this time. So on the 23rd, Venus will be making an opposition over to Uranus sitting in Taurus. So Taurus is your second house. This is a house of value. This is a house of self-worth, money, your money, possessions, resources. So any of those themes could come up for you. But Venus is really the triggering point at this time. And she's in your 8th house. So that's Scorpio. Scorpio's 8 signs have passed Aries. And here, the 8th house, again, is this house of death and rebirth. It's a house of karmic debts owed to you and to others. And it's very much a house of other people's money, other people's resources and possessions. And it's hitting the second house where Uranus is sitting, which is your house of self-worth. So the way I see it, this is a big test of what's mine and what's yours. And can we compromise and find the middle ground between the two? Because your ruling planet Mars is sitting over in Libra, which is this sign of the scales, balance, finding harmony, negotiating, cooperating with others. But the thing is, Mars doesn't do so well in Libra because it's got to go through the lens of Venus. So it's conflicting energy here. Venus wants to bring together, Mars wants to separate. Same thing with Venus being in Scorpio. Again, Venus wants to bring things together, but Scorpio is more about the separation of the old self from the new. It's that transformative energy that all Scorpios have to go through in order to progress into Sagittarius, where they fly as the eagle. So, or the phoenix, depending on which version of history you want to go with. So it is a difficult time. On top of that, so going back to this Venus-Uranus dynamic, Venus, planet of love, in a debilitated state in Scorpio, where it brings out jealousy, possessiveness, vanity, lust, all these kind of shadow qualities, fear. It's the planet of love, relationships, beauty, and harmony. And it's going to be making an exact square, or excuse me, opposition over to Uranus. And Uranus is known as this planet of liberation and freedom, change, sudden change sometimes, shock and awe, electricity, being innovative. So there's something here that has to be released. I think it's going to be something debating between what's mine and what's yours. It could be a test of self-worth. It could be breakups, unfortunately, during this time. Sometimes Venus also deals with sexuality, so sometimes people come out when Venus is making an aspect over to Uranus, and it can be quite shocking, potentially. So I think those are some of the themes that you need to be aware of. But again, this could very well deal with money, some underlying issues with finance, other people's money perhaps too. So keep that in mind with this particular transit. On that same day, on the 23rd, this is what I was going to get to. Communication planet Mercury. This is what's on your mind. It rules channels of all type, merchants. And remember, Mercury is a neutral planet. It's not necessarily benefic and it's not necessarily malefic, but it does go in between the underworld, which is Scorpio, and what we consider the light half of the zodiac. It dips back and forth all the time because it's constantly moving between the sun and its retrograde phase. So we're coming up to a retrograde period right now. Mercury is slowing down, not moving very fast in the sky, and Mercury is in Libra. So Libra is your 7th house. The 7th house is a house of relationships, partnerships, one-on-one relationships, clients, legal contracts as well. So Mercury is going to be making what we call a hard square. It's a 90-degree angle over to Pluto sitting in Capricorn. And that is your 10th house of career, your outward appearance, ambition, success, achievement. It rules discipline and perseverance. So here it's communication from the underworld. It's potentially things unseen. It could be something happening with work colleagues. It's going to be a review of something with partnerships and work, essentially. And Mercury slowing down, and it's going to be making this hard angle, this harsh 90-degree angle, we call it a square, for almost a week. And it's starting now. It's starting to apply now. Mercury is getting very close to that 24th degree of Libra, and right now Pluto is at the 24th degree of Capricorn. So, and it's just sitting there. So we have a tough week coming up with communication overall. Could be something with partnerships and work for you, Aries. Now, on the 29th is when Mercury will start moving backwards in the sky. It's going to go through its retrograde phase. So it's stationing retrograde right about now for the next couple of days, and then it's going to go retrograde for about 3.5 weeks in that partnership sector, that 7th house. So again, we could be reviewing, realigning, reassessing something with partnerships because that 7th house is being activated in that work sector. The 10th house is also associated with men in your life, VIPs. So keep that in mind as well. There could be something coming up with, males in your life, or dads for that matter too. Sometimes the 10th house is associated with father figures. So that's what we can look forward to. Not easy energy overall. And then the sun, right now, over the next couple of days, is going to be moving into Libra. And the sun is at its fall position in Libra. It's exalted over in your sign, Aries. But in Libra, the exact opposite sign of you, it is in its fall position. So we're moving into, metaphorically speaking, the dark half of the zodiacal year. Here at the equinox, which is the 22nd, the days and the nights are essentially equal. So that's the equinox, but when the sun crosses over into Libra, now we're entering the dark half of the zodiacal year. So the darkness is starting to take over. The darkness is, in fact, taking over. So we have to grapple with some of these shadow qualities, so to speak. So that's for all of us. Now, let's get into the tarot. That's what's happening in the astrology. I want you to be aware of that. I did spend more time on that than usual, but there's a lot happening. And I think we're going to be going through a little bit of a rough patch. So I just want people to know that. I think the rest of September and October is going to be chaotic, to say the least. And for you, it's your partnership sector. It's that 8th house of karmic debts, where Venus is, 7th house of marriage, relationships, 8th house of death, 2nd house where Uranus is sitting, that's self-worth, money, what it is we value, and then 10th house of careers. 10th house of careers, excuse me, so I'm mumbling. But that's what's happening right now. Not easy stuff overall. So Aries, let's see what's happening with you in the tarot. I'm going to do a 6-card spread today, modified Celtic cross. I'm going to pull 1 card from the angels for general energies. Keep in mind, these are general readings. Messages won't resonate with all of you. So this is for Aries Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Take a look at the other readings. If your Sun, Rising, Moon, or Venus is something other than Aries, sometimes those messages will resonate more with you depending on what's happening in your natal chart. If you like these videos and would like to see more of them, please click the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel and it's very much appreciated for me. And you get to see more of me. And I will be doing more videos again, and I'm finally kind of coming back just from that kind of low energy, crummy energy. So I'm making it through overall. But here I am, so happy to have you guys back. All right. I also had one viewer comment that I shuffled too loudly. I have a marble table, so I'm trying to do this a little bit more quietly. If I didn't shuffle, I'd have people complaining that I'm somehow rigging the cards or doing something crazy like that, but here they are. See, I'm shuffling. I'm trying to do it quietly. Don't be mad at me. Anyway, okay. So here we go, Aries. Look at this just a little bit more. Big happenings with you. Your ruling planet right now, Mars, is sitting in that 7th house of partnerships. Doesn't do well on this in Libra. It's at its fall. It's in its detriment there. So just be prepared for some crazy relationship stuff. You can make it through it. Doesn't mean necessarily things are going to end, but it could mean that you're going to be reviewing some things. So we'll try to get down to it with the tarot, see what that has to say, if we can clarify. Not everything has to be bad either. It's just some weird energy. And luckily, Venus is still cruising along. She's doing at least a degree a day in the sky. So this energy between Venus and Uranus doesn't last very long. But the square from Mercury to Pluto, that's almost like a week. It's like 5 or 6 days. So all of us are going to be feeling this in some way, shape, or form. But like I said, it's communication from the underworld. It's something we don't necessarily see coming. It could be secrets. And again, that's hitting your 10th house of career and your 7th house of partnerships. So just got to be aware of that. All right, this is for Aries. Let's see what the messages are for Aries. I'll give the angels a shuffle here. Show me the messages for Aries. Okay, I think that's good. Here we go. Religious factors. Your love life is being influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Now, when I see this particular card, I oftentimes think of Jupiter, because Jupiter is this planet of faith, morality, ideals, beliefs. We just talked about this full moon in Pisces. Jupiter rules Pisces, and right now it's in retrograde over in Saturn's home sign of Aquarius. So this could be a test of faith. This could be a test of your boundaries. A lot of times Saturn's about boundaries, testing those boundaries. So your boundaries could be tested at this time with something that has religious, moral upbringing. So I wouldn't hang your hat necessarily on the word religious. It could be something that you just hold as an ideal for a relationship here. And it could be something that is subconscious. That 12th house where the full moon is hitting, maybe it's something that you didn't even really consider in your thought process. So we'll see what this is all about, but right now it looks like there could be a test of faith here of some type. All right, let's see what the tarot has to say. First card out is the general energies. King of Wands. This could very well be you. Aries, Wands energy, that's fire energy. So we'll get more into this. That's at the center of the reading. This is what's crossing you. Eight of Pentacles, Destiny, King of Pentacles, distant past, the Hierophant, recent past, Magician, outcome, Three of Pentacles. Yeah, so you have, I'm gonna review this again. I gotta take a drink of water. Just give me 1 sec. You have a lot of Pentacles in your reading. You have the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles. A lot on work. We talked about the fact that Mercury is going to be making this squaring aspect over to Pluto sitting in that 10th house of career. So you're going to be reviewing work partnership of some type, perhaps. This is also finance related. So there could be something related to finance here, but let's get started. So at the center of the reading, we have what could very well, I think, is you, King of Wands here, fire energy. So you could be dealing with another Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in this case. And always remember, you know, fire energy, bold, assertive, pioneering, courageous. You can be the life of the party at times, right? You can hold people's attention. You're gregarious. But also remember, on the flip side, you can be impulsive and rash. Those are some of those shadow qualities. And you can be very cutting and severing sometimes with your words and actions. So you need to be very careful here overall. But what's crossing you is the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is very much a card of the man at work, trying to build up his resources, build up financial resources, perhaps. But in a love reading, this is perhaps even emotional resources, like you're building towards something. Maybe if you're single, you're building toward being that best version of yourself to bring in the best type of lover for you. If you are married or in a partnership, this is very well you working at your relationship and working hard at it. And you're trying to bring something to fruition here. So the man just keeps going, right? And right now we're dealing with some pretty intense energy overall. So it could feel like some of you are questioning whether or not all this work is worth it. Am I putting my time into something that's going to last? Am I putting my time into something that is worth my time? And remember where this opposition between Venus and Uranus is hitting. The 8th house, what's mine and what's yours? It's things of value. What do you value? And it could very well be a test of boundaries as well, because there's this element of self-worth in here. So it's you trying to build something here overall. Now, what's interesting about this is that the destiny position is the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is sure-footed, he's comfortable, he's security-oriented overall. This is the sign of Taurus, and Uranus is sitting in Taurus right now. So this could very well be someone that you're dealing with. Could be another earth sign as well too, Capricorn, Virgo. Pluto's sitting over in Capricorn. The sun is sitting at those last degrees of Virgo. So it's very much a manifestation card in a way. Earth energy, bringing about something from the ethereal into the physical reality. That's what earth signs do. But a lot of times this has to do with worth, value, comfort, security. Is this where you're trying to go, Aries? Or is this someone in your life that is questioning your own, that's bringing up insecurities, fear about security and comfort and finances? It's in the destiny position. So this is where things are going. This is where you have to direct your energy. So perhaps something needs to change on that front. Others of you, I think this has something to do with a check of your self-worth and making sure you are planted on that firm, solid foundation. That's what earth signs are all about, making things last the test of time. Now, in the distant past here, we have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is sometimes a card of religious organizations. It was originally associated with the church. So you could be reviewing something here with religious factors, whether or not there's interwoven value between you and another person. Are you on the same page when it comes to your beliefs and your ideals here? Sometimes this also has an element of commitment in marriage. This is also another Taurus card. So there's a lot of Taurus energy coming up for you. And Taurus is almost in the exact opposite type of energy from you, Aries, because Taurus is stubborn and slow. They don't move very fast. They really take their time to make any moves. So maybe you're trying to rush, make sure you're not trying to rush something here and you're letting things unfold naturally. But you might just be getting a hard no, a hard stop, saying, you need to slow down. I'm not ready for this if you're trying to push anything too fast. Or perhaps that's where you're at right now, where someone else is trying to force you, perhaps, into a commitment that maybe you're just not ready for. Others of you might be questioning the commitment and the relationship. Is it built to withstand that test of time? Hierophant can be a complicated card. So again, there could be elements of morality, ideals, religious influence here. Some of you might be dealing with commitment issues here too. Now, the next card out here is the Magician. And you got to be careful of the Magician here. It's at the bottom of the reading. And this is why I'm saying maybe someone is being not totally upfront with you about things. Because the Magician is a card of manifestation. The Magician is very much in line with all the suits of the Tarot, right? He's got the cup on his table, so he's got emotional maturity. He also has the sword and the pentacle, so he's good with his controlling his thoughts, not being obsessive, letting things go that aren't necessarily, or thought processes, letting go of thought processes that don't really serve him. He's got resources, so he knows how to manage his resources, and then he's holding the wand, so he has passion for what it is he does. And I think this is kind of where you're going here, right? And everyone's always working on this to some extent in their life. But if you're dealing with a person that is not on the up and up, and this card can be sometimes very manipulative too. This could be someone that's trying to manipulate you. It could be a tricky character at times. Other times, this is someone trying to manifest this situation, trying to bring about a happy relationship, trying to bring about a relationship that's emotionally fulfilling, that's passionate, that has resource and value, and that you're emotionally aligned, right? I mean, a lot of people are trying to get to that level. Others of you, this is someone that is very manipulative of some type. Could be this King of Pentacles character here for some of you. Not for all of you, but for some of you. So the lesson with the Magician is always be in charge of your emotions, know what gives you life, know what gives you passion in life. Having control of your thoughts, your thought patterns is really huge with this as well. And then also resources and what it is you value, and knowing your boundaries, and knowing what it is you're willing to put up with and things that you're not willing to put up with here. Because there's some element here of commitment that needs to be looked at, and religious factors that could be playing into this. So in a way, you have the Alchemist here, and then you have the Church. So these are kind of like two conflicting cards. So maybe someone here is just, maybe you're dating someone and they just have very different ideals from you overall. Maybe someone is tied to some religious practice and someone is an atheist or agnostic. So I'm getting that vibe. Maybe that's for some of you here. So where's this all going? The outcome. Three of Pentacles, you're gonna have to do more work. Some of you are just gonna have to figure out a way to come together. This is also a teamwork type of card. This has come up a lot in the readings this month. And I'm reading this as some of you might need to actually go to therapy or see a therapist if you're in a committed relationship. Sometimes this represents seeking advice from third parties. Others of you, you need to take a look at yourself and making sure that you have clear boundaries on what it is you're willing to negotiate and come to the center in a relationship if you have differing views about ideals and beliefs or some type here that's coming up. And you'll know what this is. It could be about money, it could be about work. Others of you, this could be a third-party situation too. Not all of you. Sometimes this represents third parties interfering in a relationship. It doesn't mean someone's cheating. There just could be some type of third-party interference. Maybe someone's taking up a significant other's time too much at work. Maybe it's just a very demanding boss that's just eating up a lot of your partner's time, or maybe eating up a lot of your time, and you need to reassess that. So keep that in mind. Sometimes I think if this is a good therapist card, seeking third-party advice, sometimes you need teamwork to get through this. So it's calling you to negotiate and cooperate, see the other side a little bit, see if you can give a little bit more here, Aries, or compromise just a little bit to make the situation work or to resolve whatever this is about. Others of you, there could be, it could be a potential third-party situation, but I don't necessarily see this as someone that's lying, cheating, or anything like that. I think it's just someone else is interfering here. Maybe something work-related. Let's clarify the Hierophant here. Yeah, Nine of Cups. So it could be that you're trying to be emotionally fulfilled in this relationship or this commitment, right? Trying to find fulfillment. And some of you might be fulfilled. Others of you, you're trying to figure out, how do I fill up my cups again? I think that's really where this is going. And it's taking a lot of work. And it's looking at your values and your beliefs. And can you come together here? And can you make it work? Can you alchemize your relationship to make this work? Can you turn coal into gold? The magician can, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And then again, this could be a tricky character here. So you need to be careful. So Nine of Cups, it is a card of emotional abundance here, but I think it's you trying to find that emotional abundance within yourself and within a relationship. But you got to look at your beliefs and whether or not you're on the same page. All right, Aries, I hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit longer today because I spent more time on the astrology, but let me know if this is resonating with you, and as always, take care.